Hello, this is Jer. This is the Nightmare series of Oxygen Not Included. I'm on the radioactive ocean asteroid that is metal poor and has a frozen core. Absolutely terrible place to be. As if it wasn't bad enough, all the game settings are on the maximum hardness, and we don't have teleportation or care packages. Enjoy! Welcome to episode 7. So I've got this area here where I'm generating some ceramic. I'll get as much as I can, or at least as much as I need to make some insulation, because on the top of this base we've got this guy and it needs a basic nosocone, and I need a little bit of insulation. I'm probably going to need some refined metal too. So let's create a few pieces of that. Now, I also want to get, speaking of which, I'll start the research for this, hazard protection. But these guys only grow their scales when they're in hydrogen, so we're going to change this up a little bit. But we don't want hydrogen exposed to the mealwood. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to switch these two tiles around. Maybe make that the priority. That hydrogen hangs out here, so that when these guys are crawling, they're always crawling through hydrogen. I'm also going to put an area up here. Actually, maybe now that I look at this closer, this door should be on this side. But the idea is, once these guys are groomed, they've got a certain amount of time. I could throw them here where they spend the whole time in hydrogen. And of course, we're going for the Carnivore achievements, so we're keeping this area going as best as we can. A few eggs, I see. 84%, I think 85% is going to be the point I don't bother to incubate. Because I'll just let those naturally go. And where are we with calories? 11,000 calories. See some there. Now we can eat. Alright, let's get started. So all my regular eggs have been done, so I'm going to do a few of the eggs that actually are above 85%, just to push those a little bit closer, because we're getting to 10,000 calories, just to be safe. So what I'd like to get is some hydrogen here. That may be in like the center-ish area of the room. We'll connect that to our hydrogen line. There should be plenty of it. There we are. So now we have enough ceramic and metal to make basic nosocone. So now we can concentrate on the inside of this rocket. Don't normally do this, but because of the low metal situation, I'm going to actually get rid of a building to make room for another building. I want to make my exosuit forge. We'll put that right here. Just looking at my setup here for these guys, I noticed that there was a few that were starving. I think 8 cycles from being running out of food altogether, so I had thought, what if... now, I don't know my metal situation. Okay, I think we'll have enough. And it'd be worth doing this, just so I don't waste more dirt than is necessary. But I'm thinking to myself, what if I put these guys in a little side room, and I just move the guys over when they need to eat, as long as I remember to remove them back, so that they can get groomed again. This might minimize the amount of dirt that gets used for meat conversion. Let's have a look over that. Just one more to go. And why don't we bring hydrogen here as well? Looks like these guys have enough food. But we are multiplying. We've got a Draco egg in the incubator area. Okay, so I have been incubating all day long here with Runner. A few of these little critters have hatched, so we get some meat from that. We currently have 15,000 calories of barbecue meat. We're just about to go to cycle 90. And I'm curious where we are. Thinking we got to be past halfway mark near 260, so a bit more to go. Okay, so here we are. We've got some hydrogen. I'm going to cut this right here, because I only want a little bit at that point. I'll make sure I get some metal back. I'll wait until this area is a little bit more, maybe even push it from the very end just to make sure that this oxygen goes down this way. Either that, or actually, well, I can change this out later, but I'll put an airflow tile right there just to push this along. Okay, so this is going to be a difficult area for the dupes, but we're just going to be dropping these guys off when they're well groomed. Let's look at this. So they've got scale growth of nothing until they go up to the hydrogen, and then that starts to increase to 13%. But the main thing I want to focus in on right now is the fact that this guy's groomed for 1.7 cycles. So as long as I don't forget this guy, they're good to be up here. Okay, so I've got this guy here. They are groomed. They're going to be there for 1.5 cycles in the groomed state. I want to get some of this. So it's actually not reed fiber. I want to have 2 to do a space mission. I'm going to need 4 pieces of aluminum. This is going to get difficult. I may have to start removing some items to make that happen. So I'm having second thoughts about this setup. Technically, this guy here is getting more scale growth, but I think the effort of moving them back and forth just isn't worth it. I would say not quite half the time, but close-ish to half. These guys are up here, so I think that's going to be good enough. I just don't think it's worth my effort to bring these guys up and down. So this guy currently is groomed for another 0.9 cycle. Leave them a little bit longer. On the other hand, I think this setup, actually removing these critter feeders here, partially because I want the metal, but I don't plan to ever feed them on this side. I think, and I'll see what I think after trying this, but I think this is actually a valuable thing, at least until I've got more resources to be able to give these things. So that being the case, I might as well preload these for when a critter is in need of food. Okay, exciting moment. The first time I'm gonna get an Atmos suit, we're gonna put in an order of 2. A little bit more metal is also gonna be needed for the actual stations themselves. What do I need? 100. If I want to have a single station, we'll need 200. One for the checkpoint, one for the dock. Okay, let's go inside our rockets. Whoa! Cancel launch. Whoops. We don't want to go anywhere. We have to actually design the inside of this rocket first. What am I looking to do? A view interior. There we are. So, I'm getting some oxygen bottles, waiting for those. But, we want a checkpoint. The idea here is when the dupe leaves this area, and this doesn't apply to this particular world, but to the world that we're going to, we want them to have an Atmos suit on when they leave. So we'll put this in place, and we'll disable it as soon as it's built, just so that well, the dupes can actually get in. Thinking of a very quick project here just to speed up this polluted water conversion. Going to do that by making a single polluted water bottle. That's going to sit right there. Metal is very short, but I am going to be able to, once this is done, destroy it and get all this back. As long as there's actually enough to build it. Wire that needs to connect right to the pump. Time to look at the design of my rockets. Looking for a bottle here that's a small amount liquid, 400. Let's go with that. We're going to move you inside the rocket. I'm going to put you right there at high priority. Okay, I've got a little bit of salt water here. The rest of the base or rockets needs some mopping. Please, if one of your dupes come and do that. I'm also going to see if I've got enough metal. For my first, I do, there we go. This is just going to be a rocket for one dupe on this particular mission, but I'm going to give him that Mosuit dock to be able to use. I want to store food. I'm going to do that here. I want to store lots of oxygen to feed this guy, as well as to have oxygen in the rocket itself. But I also need to think about carbon monoxide, because this rocket, I believe, won't have enough gas or carbon monoxide both get us to this world and get back. And I don't see a ton of carbon monoxide here, so we should probably take some with us. Here's the first test of my new hatch setup. So I see this critter. They're starving. Let's see. So their base production now is 2%, even though they're grooms. That's not ideal. I'm going to move them here. High priority, of course. They can get some food. So this prevents the other hatches from eating any of the other ones that need to eat. I'll do the same thing. Oh, their only thing is, maybe because most of them probably arrived around the same time, they're all hungry. Maybe I should have left this over there after all, but I'll treat them one by one. Actually, that still might minimize the amount of dirt if I do it that way. Probably the best thing to do is trap this dupe here. We got Rancher, so we see this guy. He's just had a bite to eat. He could potentially get more, but if I say move 2, send them back. And I'll click on this guy, move 2. I don't even have to worry about priority since this dupe is trapped. And I'll work this way. Moving critters around. Oh, that's right. Well, I guess that's fine to have the other dupes come in here. What I should have done, though, is got Rancher. Yeah, maybe I should have actually prevented the other dupes from coming in. So up in the rocket, I gotta give the rest of the dupes something to do. I'm gonna start off by doing that. I don't know where I want my ladder, but for the time being, how about we just do this so I can access all sections of the rocket up above us. Okay, so going back here, I've got to let everyone out except for Rancher. Rancher, you are denied. Their schedule's ending soon, but anyway. Gotta wait for this dude to wrangle this one. Now, you guys are allowed out, right? Baker's just staying idle. Okay, we need to find something for these guys to do. Oh! Okay, I've got an important task for you guys. Drywalling. Let's patch this up. Okay, yeah. We've got a leak into space. So we'll start filling this. I'm going to fill this in for radiation protection's sake, but we're going to make this a high priority task check. Anywhere else, we're good there. Okay. That should send the dupes out. So we've got now this hatch, which can be moved back. I guess we can only have so many dupes go up there. There we are. Veterinarian is doing that. Okay, so now nobody else should be in here but Rancher. I'm going to go through each of these critters one by one until they're fed. I don't know. Maybe this is not the smartest thing. Maybe I should actually... This would work. This would make more sense. I think if these dupes or critters were just hungry one at a time. Like here, for instance. Maybe this is a better example. This guy's hungry. Most of the other ones are not. They're just all seem to be hungry at the same time. I'll continue on just for testing. Let's see how this works. I move this guy over to here. Someone can do that high priority. And then up here, I'll continue on until the ranchers finish their, or starting their break. So Runner is installing this pump for us. It's powered up and it's going to move all the polluted water inside this guy here. And once I delete that, we'll have a polluted water bottle. That's going to make oxygen a little quicker. Whoops, forgot to trap a dupe in here. Let's make sure we get them to finish egg incubating. Have a quick look here. We're on cycle 93. We've got 10,000 calories of barbecue meat set to eat. But that's certainly not going to be enough. Watching this very carefully more than anything else. We're over the 300,000 mark. 90,000 left to go. Got several of these guys in here. They are ready to be moved out. Let's see if that's going to be all of them. You can also see the dupes are looking for something to do. So perhaps we can go out in the rockets. Let's start off by destroying this. So my plan here is to put an oxygen storage spot. It's going to take up a good amount of room, but it'll be worth it in my mind. So we can get rid of that ladder. Now I am not trusting these tiles. Because in the past, I can't remember, it might have been liquid or something, but I was pressuring an area and liquid was going through. I don't know if that's strictly necessary, but just as a precaution, I'm going to do this. Alright, very short in metal, that only takes 50, so we'll put that there. So we've got a vacuum right here that the intent is to make this a place to store food. Just looking to see, I can see one more guy needs to be moved over here. And one, maybe two more. So they'll move over. Up the priority of that. And then I'm going to try to stay on top of these guys. Just looking for ones that start to go hungry. So that we can do that at the same time. Running this, looking for eggs that need to be incubated. Oh, there's some meat. And I think we're getting pretty close to the point. 90,000 calories. These dupes are eating 14,000 calories every cycle. Would be nice if I can get a solar panel module on there. We'll do the research, see if that actually happens. Just checking on these guys, and they're cramped. And I was like, oh no, what's going on? Because I've had this issue. But I found out what it is. First of all, there's an egg, sage hatch egg. So that's going to be taken out very quickly right here. So that's not a problem, but I only have 7 critters, so I should be able to store an egg, and I realized, oh yeah, I created 3 more tiles. So I think it's time to give each of these stables 3 more spaces to exist. 1, 2, oh, what am I going to do here? Maybe we'll move this like that. And then 1, 2, and 3. So I see 2 Atmo suits here sitting on the ground. I'm going to at least get one of them to be delivered. And I'll drop the other one inside here after that one's been picked up. Do another egg. And wait for someone to pick this up. Okay, so there is Runner bringing that in. I want to, so these suits don't last as long because I'm on a difficulty setting. So I'm going to put that right there, make that move too hard, or high priority. The idea is, once this thing wears out, at least there'll be one more suit to be able to use before this rocket has to go back home. And another egg. See lots of meat here. Currently at 5,000 calories, so after this egg, I think we have to do a little bit of a hunt to make sure that the fridge, or kitchen, has enough meat to start making barbecue meat. For that, I'm going to get all the ranchers in and out, so that's runner, veterinarian, and we'll do a group attack, if you will. Okay, so runner's putting our food storage area together. Can make, distract this. So at this point, this water, or salt water, should be keeping this to be a vacuum area. And we'll, as long as we've got frozen food, that should be ideal. And just to prevent the dupes from actually standing on this liquid, when they're in here, we'll put a tile right there, but they'll still be able to access the food that's sitting in here. Just saw research is complete. Okay, that's just on the prerequisite for solar panels on a rocket. So I see this guy is full. We'll destroy this and build another one. I continue to get more and more eggs incubated. So I've been looking through these saltwater bottles, and I want one that's less than 2,000. So that is, this one's 1,100 and something. That will do. That's going to be used up here in our infinite water, or gas storage area. Okay, so I have to design this area. This is going to be our oxygen supply. The idea is we're going to get oxygen to go in. I will store some in the pipes. Oh, let's see, where can I go and where can I think that should be allowed. But ultimately, we want to have excess hydrogen stored in here. So how about we go around like this? And put in priority like this. Yeah, that'll be fine. And the idea is any excess hydrogen that's making its way around in here that can't go out this way will go into one of these two vents. That's my thinking. And then from there, maybe we'll vent oxygen right at that location. That should do, and I'll just... So I'm going to plan carbon dioxide. Let me have a think about that. So we'll build that so far and then go from this point on. We are at the end of cycle 95. I see more critters here. I continually get eggs that are around 90-95%, which is quite nice. That means I'm going to have future ones, but for now, these guys are meat, which is awesome. And since we're at the end of 95, we're getting close. I mean, if I'm not, I'm pretty sure it's the only thing my dupes are eating, so that's a good sign. Ooh, okay, hey, all right. Continue eating, guys, continue eating. We, let's just double check that I've got this fridge to only have barbecue meat. Okay, all right, at least for that. Okay, so I really got to keep this going. I'm getting Rancher to move all pieces of meat right here. That way the other dupes can pick that up, make that way to the kitchen. Piece of meat that's hidden right there. Make sure we get that over as well, Rancher. Right, and I'm going to be selective about what eggs I want to take over. A lot of them are incubating anyway, or have lullaby effect. 28%. Yeah, we can, we'll bring that. We'll bring another one in that category over. That one's about to wear out 50%. Definitely going to take that. 93, 82, 84, definitely going to take that. Okay, so that's the eggs that we're going to do today in this cycle. I'm waiting for this guy to get out because that's going to be a little bit of meat. We'll start off with a sage hatch egg. 50,000 calories overall, but let's see, 4,000 calories of barbecue meat, but we do have meat that's in the process now, I'm sure, to be converted. Okay, so there's Sage Hatch egg. I'll just continue until all these are done. So I see some, a little bit of a problem. Rotten barbecue meat. I do not like to see that. It's not, in my mind, going to affect the Carnivore achievement. It's only a small amount. But going forward, and even past getting the Carnivore achievement, I want that fixed. So I don't know exactly what the best thing to do is, but what I'm going to try, start off with, is cut this down to 1 kilogram. Let's not store as... Actually, let's throw this out for a second. Tell, I guess, the auto sweeper... Hold on. Let's send this down there. Now, if I get the barbecue meat that's not as fresh, and I put that up front, that's likely to be eaten first, so I'm going to do that. And then, actually, now that I set this to move, will auto sweeper ignore that? I'm assuming it will, but let's find out. So now I'm half the amount of food that's going to be stored in here. Okay, so it has hasn't touched that piece of barbecue meat there. So yeah, we'll check out this setting of 1 kilogram and see how that does. So I'm gonna put this plug in right there. We are short on metal, so let's see. I'm gonna use copper in this case. I'm gonna make sure these guys are plugged in. We'll need some other wires, so I'll do that for now. And I might have to go find more metal before I complete this whole setup. Also, would want to block this off first, so I'm going to make this slightly higher priority. We are just crossing into cycle 98. I still do not have my Carnivore achievements. Let's start off by looking at where we are. How many more calories do I need? Alright, I need about 30,000. I've got 23,000 sitting there. Let's keep going. It's gonna be... This is definitely gonna be by far the closest I've ever have getting the Carnivore achievement. Let's see. Rancher, thank you for transporting that meat, but you know what? Somebody else can do that. But we trap you in here, and we're gonna really watch everything that happens in this room in particular. So I want to get this meat that was just created sent to the kitchen, so Rancher can just set it there. One of the other dupes can worry about that. I'm gonna select eggs. That's 27. That's fine. Go through all the eggs that don't have the lullaby effect and bring those over for processing. So we might as well start loading some oxygen into this guy here. I don't want to do this setup, so I'm just going to bypass everything right now, just so we can start that loading. And continually getting down here, working on egg by egg. So we've got enough barbecue meat calories. So we've got a glossy Drecklet egg. I am definitely going to incubate that straight away. So is that actually in here? Oh no, that must be on the way. Just make sure that... Oh, did that get sent down here? So all other eggs get sent down there. Let's do this. How do I inspect? Okay, no, it has not made its way in into this area where the dupes cannot access. But in the meantime, we'll do we'll look for some more eggs that can be applied, if there are any. Okay, so this is the first glossy Drecklet egg that's going to be incubated. This is going to be the key to getting some plastic on this asteroid. Oh. letting more dupes. And then this is a place for only runner right now. Actually, veterinarian, while you're there, you could attack. There we go. So that's the first glossy Dreglet egg with the lullaby effect being added to it. Okay, a little bit of planning is needed here. We're gonna put in 2 of these. We are really getting down to the wire of metal. Okay, so this is gonna be for carbon dioxide. I'm less concerned about this. We can just push it in, the carbon dioxide that is, and then get it out. So that, not that that is affecting the metal. The only thing that affects metal here is this pump will need power. Whew. Alright. Currently, we've got carbon dioxide here, so what I'm thinking is I want to seal this area up first, and then push in some oxygen, because I want to make sure that I don't so much care about this one, I guess, but I want to make sure that this guy has just pure oxygen, so that when it goes in here, it won't damage the dock suit. I've got just about every egg with the lullaby effect that I can. Let's see, is there any remainders? Oh, this is definitely... So at this point, I probably no sense of doing any eggs unless they're near completion. But that is one that actually is near completion. So I think this might be the final egg that I do towards at least getting the Carnivore achievement, I believe. We're gonna let this spin to 99 and we'll have a look at where we are. Oh yeah, no, that's it, so you can go, runner. So over here we've got this guy, which has the last bit of polluted water. So what I'm gonna do is just open this up and do some mopping. And, oh yeah, not, since I'm metal short, let's also focus in on getting that metal back. Okay, let's, we said we'd have a look at where we are with the Carnivore achievements. Oops. On cycle 99. I've never gotten the Carnivore achievement like this late. Whoa. Okay, so technically we've got 2 cycles. We've got this cycle and next cycle. I'm taking that to mean that technically I have to the end of cycle 100. So it's not when it turns to cycle 100, I have till the end of cycle 100. So I'm going to get the Century Award first before the Carnivore, which I didn't even know was that worked that way. I just never needed to because it was never this friggin' close. Tiny bit worried, though. I'm reasonably confident that I'm gonna get it. We'll keep going. We're gonna start superheated forging because I like to get a glass forge sometime soon. Just taking care of the hungry hatches. This guy has had something to eat. Oh, and just as I move someone over to find some food, another one starves. So I guess we're gonna move that one over as well. As runners in there doing some grooming. So inside this rocket, it says we don't have enough aluminum. A little piece that we want to move out before we seal this area up. Gonna do that at high priority. We also have a bottle here, salt water. We want to get that opened before we leave. And we'll move that out, though it's not as important. What happened here? I guess that technically doesn't matter, or we'll just leave that alone. So we have less than 6,000 calories of barbecue meat to consume. We've got 22,000, so we're really just waiting for dupes to eat. Rancher is helping us. Engineer is helping us. Chef, are you out to get some? Oh no, you're cooking. That's okay. Cycle 99 report. This is a big moment. About to go to the turn of the century. And my understanding is we still have one more cycle to get that Carnivore achievement. Possibly, maybe one of you guys, I think there's 2,000 each. So we're short 2,000, I think, by the time they're done. I'm not sure whether you get, the game considers consuming it, whether when they start eating or when they finish eating. Actually, we're going to find out soon, actually. So, let's just wait for that. Hold on, I'm just going to pause it. Let's look again at the Carnivore achievements. We've got, it says 2 cycles. Still. Oops. 98, so less than 2,000. So basically, one other dupe consumes something, and let's look at the schedule. This is a schedule set that dupes generally eat in the morning. It was Rancher and Engineer, I believe, that we just saw. Get rid of some of these old ladders. But yeah, we are heading to the turn of the century. The next, so 2 achievements coming up really close together. I actually kind of wanted to get to the turn of the century first, just to know indefinitely that I can still get the Carnivore achievement at the end of the cycle. For some reason, I always thought this was the point it was too late. So, Colony achievement earned, not the Carnivore. Turn of the century, that's simply getting to cycle 100. But, yeah, let's just wait. Baker, are you looking for... This is it. Baker is going to take us there. And we're going to find out whether we get this as soon as they put food in. I think it's going to be after they walk away. That's when the game considers them to have consumed the food. So they have to chew, chew, chew. And if I was at the end of the cycle, I'd be very nervous right now. They're clearly going to finish by the end of this cycle. Here we are. I can feel it. I can feel it. It's coming. Come on, Baker. Chew, chew, chew. Chew, chew, chew. See some meat on the way to the kitchen. Scientists, the 2 are chatting amongst themselves. Gonna move some polluted dirt out of the way. So Baker is finishing up. Oh, they didn't like it. It was barbecue meat you guys consumed, right? Yeah, it must have been because I see Colony achievement earned. Yes! There it is. Oh my goodness. Alright. Pretty much just at the same time. Technically the turn of the century first, but right after the Carnivore achievements. Okay. Alright, so that relieves a great deal of pressure for me. I definitely need a break, so I'm going to take a break. But while I'm on this break, I need to be thinking about what I do from here, and specifically regarding around this machine. Let's gonna do my glossy eggs. Certainly going to be attending to those. But my question is, do I stop running the incubator? Because it's quite a lot of work. The only disadvantage is, that means the dupes have to run this machine. Or do I balance it somewhere in between? I'll have to think about that. Let's just look at this rocket project, I believe. Oh yeah, I want to get, before I forget, this built right here. Move this out of the way. Alright, well, that is it for today. Big moment. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next time where I decide what to do with the incubator. I put in the last little bit changes to this rocket, and I send it back for the second time for a dupe over here, and I collect that metal, which I'm very much in need of. Alright, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Okay, just some bonus material. I've been super focused on this, and I finally just took a moment now to look at some of the comments. First of all, Sergeant Good points out the fact that I've got uranium ore, which I've pretty much just been ignoring. So definitely gonna bring that in if it's needed. But I think I've got enough to send this rocket over to get tons of metal to the other world. So yeah, thanks for a reminder of that bit. One additional comment from Cedric, and yeah, you mentioned that now I'm at the end of this process, but this is a brilliant idea. This is not the last time I'm going to be playing this game, so this is something I will be doing in the future, even if not in this particular series. But automation for detecting when the dupes get back with automatic zoom in. Ah, brilliant. Brilliant. So this even improves this whole setup for the future. This will not be the last time. The other point, and this is something I didn't know, the food is based on the temperature it's in, not the temperature it is. Slight difference there, but it matters so much. So I did not realize that. I'm going to have to put my head around that a little bit. But again, I need a little bit of a break. So I'm going to go for a little break, think about where I'm going to go next, and I will see you guys later. Until then. And thanks so much for all that advice.